Welcome to the future of nanofinishes. This is Dan with Carbon Method, and today we're going to talk about our ceramic coating system. Our ceramic coating system offers unparalleled levels of protection and beauty that will allow your piece of furniture to last for generations. Today, we're going to go through a full ceramic coating application, starting with hard coat, moving on to top coat, and then we're going to use a product that might help us with a little bit of application error called leveling. We're going to follow that up with ceramic care. We're doing this application today on an absolutely beautiful walnut dining room table, so let's get started. The key to a great ceramic application is prep work. So we're going to make sure we remove all the dust from our work surface and remove any unseen contaminants. For this, because of the finish that we're using, we're going to do a little bit of water and isopropyl alcohol mixed together. Before we go through our final decontamination step, we're going to put gloves on to make sure we don't transfer skin oils to the workpiece. We're going to start with hard coat. Hard coat is the base layer and it's the primary protection for your finish. We have our hard coat, our applicator pad, and a buffing rag. And that's what we're going to need to apply this ceramic coating. So let's get started. It's really important to make sure we shake the coating every time we apply it to the applicator pad. And to help incentivize that, we put these BBs in the bottle, and it has this like super satisfying sound. This is our applicator pad. It's the same material on both sides. It just helps you determine which side you have used and which side you have not. Every time we lay a fresh layer of ceramic, we want to make sure that we're using a fresh side of the applicator pad. Now, when we put the ceramic on the applicator, you're just going to kind of shake it out. And we're going to draw two lines across the applicator pad like that. Now, on a first application, so on a fresh pad, it takes a little bit more material to get the pad saturated. I'm going to break this table into three sections. We're going to do this end, then we're going to do the far end, and then we're going to do the middle section where we blend everything together. So to get started, we added the ceramic. I'm going to draw a box. And this initial line that we draw across the workpiece is our well line. Because we've actually applied the most ceramic coat in this first line, it acts as a well. And so we drew our box, and now I'm going to take this well line and I'm going to push it out to the other edge of the area. You want to work fast. So our ceramic coating flashes quickly. You've got about 1 to 5 minutes of working time on every layer and every section. So I'm just going to push this out like that, and then I'm going to come back perpendicular to our initial pass and draw it back out. The reason we do this is to keep the ceramic flowing and to make sure that we're getting even application. I'm going to repeat that, go back the other way, and what I'm looking for is a little bit of tack. When the applicator starts feeling some drag, that means that our solvent is flashing off and the ceramic coating is starting to activate. And I'm starting to feel that now, so I'm going to pull that off. I'm going to let that sit for about 60 seconds, and then we'll level it. All right, so now we're gonna level this. So what we've done is we've applied the ceramic in this section here. If there are any high spots, we wanna take that out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the applicator pad, we're gonna draw it on a 45-degree angle, and then we're gonna come across the grain like this. And all we wanna do is wick up any high spots of ceramic that might be there. This is why when I said earlier about apply more than you think you might need, because you can always come in and remove it like that. So now that our surface is leveled, You can clearly see where we've coated and where we haven't. We're gonna let this flash cure for 60 to 90 seconds, and then we're gonna come in with our buffing towel and we're gonna buff this smooth. This is our buffing towel. Now, it's a suede microfiber towel. It has no pile, so it won't pick up any wood fibers. We specifically chose this towel because of that. Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna fold it into 4s. Every time we buff, we wanna use a clean side of the rag. So we're about to buff this out, and then on the next one, you could flick the rag over and use that one, or we can unfold it and use it that way. It just gives you the most mileage for your rag. All right, so now we're just gonna come in a circular motion and lightly buff the coating. What we're doing is we're removing any of the excess material that might still be on the table and then allowing it to access the moisture in the air and cure. You don't wanna use a ton of pressure, just light, easy strokes, kind of like buffing out a paste wax. You'll feel a little drag, and then that drag will lift as you keep going. Now, when we get to our edges, we wanna make sure that we're buffing out a little bit past our stroke line. And we're just gonna keep buffing that till it feels nice and slick. Now on this second go around, I can really feel the slickness. And that's exactly what we're looking for. You can overwork this, so be mindful of that. You don't want to introduce any new scratches that we're trying to protect against. And that's that section. So let's move on. All right, so we're coming down to this side, and because we're on the same layer, we can use the same side of the applicator. So again, I'm just gonna shake that up. And we're gonna get that applied onto the applicator. Now I'm gonna draw the same box, but here's a pro tip. Because we're gonna blend the middle, I'm gonna put my well line on this far edge to make sure that we're not overlapping well lines. That will help us avoid high spots in the future. So we're just gonna put that initial well line here, and then we're gonna come up and draw our box. Now we're gonna grab from this well line and we're gonna pull the material across, filling in our space. We want to make sure that we're getting thorough saturation. Then we're going to come back and rehash this. We turned perpendicular or 90 degrees, and we're cross-hatching the application surface. And we're just going to keep working this until we start to feel a little drag. Starting to feel it, but I'm going to hit it again. We don't want to overwork the ceramic in this moment. We want to make sure that we're just blending out as much as we can. Now I'm starting to feel quite a bit of drag, so I'm just going to finish this up. Now we're going to let that sit for 60 to 90 seconds. All right, now we're going to level this. Now again, we're going to take our applicator, we're going to lay it on its edge, 45 degrees, and we're just going to draw that across the table. What this does again is it just picks up any excess material, and it allows that base layer to access the moisture in the air, which is the thing that actually cures our ceramic coating. You want to overlap these strokes to make sure that you just got everything. Now we're going to let that sit for 60 to 90 seconds. Now we're going to take our buffing towel and we're going to turn it over. We want to use a fresh side of the towel. The ceramic will start to cure in the buffing towel, and we don't want to introduce micro scratches into a freshly coated surface. So we're going to flip that towel over and we're just going to start buffing. Slow circular strokes. Nice and easy. We don't want a ton of pressure here. We just want to make sure that we're picking up all the excess material and buffing it out to a shine. What we're looking for is for it to slick up. So I'm still feeling quite a bit of drag. And so I'm just gonna come back over and buff again. And there it is, starting to slick up for me. You'll be able to feel it. Now we can move on to the center. The center, what we're gonna do is we're gonna come in and overlap these two sections. This is probably the most important part of this initial application, is we wanna make sure that we're not letting the ceramic sit on the table for very long, or it's gonna be a lot harder to buff off. And what will happen is as we overlap it, we're putting ceramic on top of ceramic. Now, it will re-wet a little bit, but what we don't want is high spots. High spots are when the ceramic is uneven, and what you'll see is like a glossy stripe where we have two overlapping sections. So we want to make sure that we're not letting that ceramic sit too long so that we can buff off to an even finish. So let's get this center section coated. Don't forget to shake it. We're using the same side of the applicator because we're on the same layer. So we're just gonna dab that on. We're gonna create that initial well line, again, making sure to overlap the previously coated section. Then we're gonna draw across, and then we're gonna come back down. We're gonna pull that well line across the working area. And you can really see, especially when it's wet, how much material is on the actual workpiece. Then we're going to rotate 90 degrees and come back and cross-hatch this perpendicularly, making sure to evenly distribute the materials. I'm starting to feel some drag, so I'm just going to let up on that. Now, when do you want to do edges? I like to do edges in each section. So I'm just going to hit these edges real quick in this middle section. So now that that's been sitting for 60 to 90 seconds, we're gonna come back and level it. So we're gonna pull that applicator on a 45, and we're just gonna pull up all this excess material. You can almost see it leveling itself out. We're using the applicator just to wick up all the high spots of the ceramic material. And I can still visually see that this well line is still a lot shinier than the rest. So I'm just gonna come back and level it one more time. There's not an exact science to this. It's whatever works. The main goal of this action is just to pull all the excess material off and allow that base coat to really get access to the air. All right, so it's the center section. We have two overlapping edges. We wanna make sure we work quickly. We're gonna open that microfiber towel up again, getting to a fresh edge, and then we're just gonna come in and buff this out. After we level it, that's 60 to 90 seconds, we're gonna let it flash cure, and now it's time to buff. So we really wanna work this edge where we overlapped, pulling it across the coating. So we're gonna move, like when we're buffing in a circle, we're buffing out to blend those overlapping edges. And then I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Really gonna blend out those overlapping edges. Starting to feel it slick up, which is telling me that we've buffed off all the excess material and the ceramic is starting to set up. So now that we have our initial hard coat layer on, we're gonna check for high spots. And what we're really gonna do is get down close to the surface, look for any changes in the gloss. A high spot looks like an area where it's a lot glossier than other areas. You often will see them where you've overlapped the different sections, and we have a solution for that. So this product's called Level It. Level It is basically a re-wetting agent, and so what you're gonna do is you're gonna shake it up, and then you're just gonna spray it on the buffing rag that you've been using. Just a couple little sprays like that. And that re-wets not only the microfiber towel, but then we're gonna take that and then we're gonna buff out those high spots. So we're gonna come in here and find this high spot, have one right here, and we're just gonna buff that out. The Level It re-wets the ceramic layer, and you can use it up to about, 2 hours after something's been applied. But it's best to do it right after you finish up a complete layer. And that looks great. So we just finished up our first layer of hard coat. We dealt with the high spots with Level It, and now we're gonna let that sit for 30 to 60 minutes. It's important to wait so that the ceramic has an adequate amount of time to cure. It's gonna cure faster in warm, humid climates, and it's gonna cure slower in dry, colder climates. So that gives you that range of 30 to 60 minutes. We recommend 2 to 3 coats of hard coat. We're gonna do 2 on this project, and then 2 to 3 coats of top coat. For this dining room table, we're gonna do 3 layers of top coat because they've got young kids, and we wanna make sure that this table lasts for years to come. So we've allowed hard coat to cure for 24 hours. It's the next day and it's time to put on top coat. So top coat's gonna give you all that protection. You're gonna get the UV resistance, the oil resistance, water resistance, and it's gonna act as a wear layer between your protection and the outside world. So if you have kids, more coats of top coat. It's gonna be able to shed water and make everything just look that much more beautiful. Application of top coat is almost identical to hard coat. We're gonna section the table off, we're gonna do this end, then we're gonna do the far end, and then we'll blend the section in the middle. We're gonna do 3 total layers of top coat, and I suggest waiting 30 to 60 minutes between each additional layer. So let's get going. We've got a fresh applicator, brand new. We're gonna use both sides. We're gonna do 2 to 3 coats on this. So let's get it started. Make sure to shake it. Just those beads again. All right, we're gonna, just like the previous hard coat installation, we're gonna block off an area. Only this time, it is so much easier to apply because we've basically sealed this surface. It's so much smoother. It also takes a lot less material or ceramic to coat this time because we're not filling a bunch of voids. And the hard coat gives it just an incredible surface. It's so smooth. Top coat does have a tendency to flash off a little quicker. So you kind of do want to move a little bit faster. And I'm starting to feel that tack on me. So I'm going to finish this blend out. And now we're going to let that sit for 60 to 90 seconds. So we just applied top coat to this end of the table. We leveled it. And now we're gonna come back and buff it. And it's important that we use a brand new microfiber buffing towel. And we wanna make sure that we're not using or reusing old buffing towels. Don't forget to get those edges. So we just finished up our third layer of top coat, and then we're gonna let that cure for 24 hours before introducing any other liquids. The ceramic coating system in general will continue to harden for up to 7 days till you get that maximum protection. Top coat is a wear layer. It'll develop small scratches with time and use. We recommend recoating every 6 to 12 months depending on use. But if you want to take it a step further, we developed a product called Ceramic Care. Ceramic Care is a ceramic infused furniture maintenance spray that will help keep your piece looking stunning for years to come. Applying Ceramic Care is super easy. We're just gonna spray down the table. We can be very, very generous here. Then we're gonna take just a paper towel and we're gonna spread that out evenly. Just kind of spread it around the table. This helps us get an even layer of protection. We're gonna make sure we wipe up any excess moisture that might be there. And then we're gonna let that dry for 30 seconds. Then the next step is we're just gonna spray a little bit of Ceramic Care on a microfiber towel, and we're just gonna buff that out. And there you have it. It's as simple as that. You can apply Ceramic Care as often as you'd like, and you can build it for even more gloss and more protection. It's a great product and it smells like Bomb Pops. So we just finished our ceramic coating application. We did 2 layers of hard coat, 3 layers of top coat, and now this beautiful walnut dining room table is protected against spills and oil and chemicals and UV rays and all the things that tend to destroy furniture. If you have any further questions, feel free to contact us. Thank you for trusting Carbon Method and welcome to the future of nano finishes.